what we want. Gotta give us what we need. Hey.
I listen to KBLA and I love the commercials. I know what the commercials mean. I also, if I'm looking and trying to figure something out, I need something to talk to me that might hit me. And it happens on TV because, you know, every time they show a sporting event, they got the pharmaceutical companies back to back telling people how to fix the sickness on the same stuff that they sell them. So we get it.
Yep, we get it too, Chuck D. And that's why at KBLA Talk 1580, we don't black down.
Drop it! Our freedom of speech is freedom of death. We got to fight the powers that be. Fight the power! Fight the power! Fight the power!
Load up the Pro Tools and press 3. Studio filled with Jack in the Box and Pepsis. Watching War Star videos, not the SBs. Laughing at B-Pump or stomach turning. I get up and proceeded to write some. Absol in the corner, mumbling raps. Fumbling packs of Blackie Mouse. Crumbling Kush till he cracked a smile. His words legendary, wishing I could rhyme like him. Studied this style to define my pen. That was back when the only goal was to get J-Rock through the door. Warner Brother Records, hope Naeem Ali would let us know. Was excited just to go to them label meetings. Wasn't my record deal, but still I couldn't believe it. Me and Rock inside the booth hibernating. It was simple math. If he made it, that mean I made it. Everything I had was for the team. I remained patient, grinding with my brothers. It was us against them, no one above us. Bless our hearts.
Welcome in. Happy Tuesday. You were locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. And as always, we have a lot to talk about with these trending topics and headlines. I hope you have a beverage, your snacks, you're relaxed and ready to get into all of the topics, including a question that Andy just posed to me. We'll get into that in a minute. So, you know, it's Tuesday, June 10th, excuse me. And LA has been LAing. You know, obviously this past week there's been a lot. We've had protests in the streets. We've had award shows just down the block. And, you know, so much is happening. So I just want to make sure that you are taking the time to breathe, relax, and enjoy this little hour of escapism as we get into these trending topics and headlines. So we're going to get into the 2025 BET Awards, a little recap of everything that went down, including some things you may not have seen. I wasn't in the building, guys. Thank you for being concerned about me. I got hit with a lobster roll. That was absolutely delicious, but that's why I wasn't here yesterday. But I'm back. So we'll get into all of the things with the BET Awards, including Doechii standing 10 toes down in her speech last night, something that we didn't see from a lot of other people. But I'm going to talk about why I think that is, that we may not have heard that from some others, and why it may just be a complicated thing, kind of, sort of, for BET that Doechii spoke out about that. So we'll get into that. We're also going to get into, you know, Snoop Dogg. He was honored last night and he performed, put it down, like, you know, Snoop's going to give you a show. But there's also an announcement. I mentioned his biopic, right? Well, now a lead has been announced. So we'll get into those details. And Swizz Beatz is clapping back at you people that say he's a sellout because of the deal with Versus and Triller and what ultimately ended up happening with that. So, you know the vibes. I'm going to get into all of the details surrounding all of that. But before I do, let me give you a little conversation starter, a couple of things bubbling up and down the timeline that, you know, has buzzing around. So I mentioned Swizz Beatz, right? He responded to someone saying he was on, you know, a live stream with Young Guru, 19 Keys, and I'm not sure if Tim was on there or not, but he clapped back at a fan who said that Versus sold out when they moved off of Instagram to Triller back in 2021, right? Swizz said, We haven't sold out. The idea that we sold out is crazy. We sold into an idea. Versus didn't have valuation because people got it for free.
We don't care.
And also, he said that it should be noted or reminded that all of the artists that participated in the verses got equity and made money from their participation. So ultimately, they did it for the culture and put money into some of your favorite artists' pockets. Isn't that what we say we want? Isn't that what we say we got going on?
No, what we want is for verses to still be going on. So by you selling it or whatever it was with Triller, messed up the whole thing. Yeah, we got the equity for, you know what I'm saying, with the artists and stuff like that. But like, man, there were so many other verses that we wanted to see brewing up. But as soon as you sold it, and granted, it probably made you and Timbaland some more money, probably made some more artist money. What about the other artists that probably wanted an opportunity at Versus? They don't get, the check stopped.
Yeah.
Something went wrong.
Well, we'll see what's going on with that. Listen, when we come forward, we're going to get into the BET Awards recap. There was a lot that was popping off there. We're also going to get into the Snoop Dogg casting. There's a lot of casting news that went down. And when we talk about the BET Awards, we're going to have to talk about Clarissa Shields. And she's not playing nice. She's not being friendly. And it's related to the BET Awards and the award that she was nominated for. So we're going to get into those details when we come forward. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Are you ready for the hottest entertainment scoop in Los Angeles? She's bringing you exclusive interviews with today's biggest stars, behind-the-scenes Hollywood insights, and all the entertainment news you need to know. She's breaking down what's trending, what's ending, and what's just beginning in the world of entertainment. You're riding with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. You ready?
Somebody make some noise in this joint.
KBLA Talk 1580 celebrates its 4th anniversary this year on Juneteenth.
Here we go again. Holla,
Hard to believe 4 years has gone by so fast.
Oh my God.
But here we are, still standing, still loving and serving our people as best we can.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
To celebrate our 4th anniversary, we have 4 big events, and you're invited to all of them.
She got a lot to say. Let's do this.
Let's get it on! On Wednesday, June 18th, we go live on C-SPAN for the 2nd consecutive year with our Climate Justice Plus Black Health Symposium. Tavis Smiley will moderate an all-star panel of thinkers and influencers as we continue our vitally important climate justice work.
Hey, Tavis Smiley, talk about.
On Thursday, June 19th, you're invited to join us as we celebrate Juneteenth and our 4th anniversary. There will be plenty of food, fun, great music, good vibes, and all of your favorite KBLA Talk 1580 hosts will be there.
Yeah, man.
Flip the beat. On Saturday, June 21st, there are 2 big events you're invited to attend.
I can't wait to hear it.
This year, KBLA Talk 1580 continues its annual partnership with the Empowerment Congress for a community celebration and dialogue to educate, engage, and empower. This year's theme is Resilience in the Face of Chaos.
Can't wait to see what's up next.
Y'all ain't ready for this.
And new this year is our State of Black Women in Los Angeles Symposium, moderated by Dominique DePrima, with a luncheon to follow. Dominique will be leading a dialogue with some of the most impactful Black women leaders in Los Angeles, and you're invited to join.
This is it.
All of these events are free, but seating is limited, so you must register in advance at our KBLA1580.com website, where you can find all the details you need about each event.
Check it out.
It's our 4th anniversary, and we would love to celebrate it with you.
I love you guys so much. There's nothing you can do about it.
We're KBLA Talk 1580.
The only black talk radio station west of the Mississippi.
Thank you for having our black.
Happy anniversary, KBLA!
Love you.
Now at Verizon, we have some big news for your peace of mind. For all our customers, existing and new, we're locking in low prices for 3 years guaranteed on My Plan and My Home. That's future you peace of mind. And everyone can save on a brand new phone on My Plan when you trade in any phone from one of our top brands. That's new phone peace of mind. Because at Verizon, whether you're already a customer or you're just joining us, We got you. Visit Verizon today. Price guarantee applies to then current base monthly rate. Additional terms and conditions apply for all offers.
Small businesses are the heart of America. But you don't have to go it alone. As the nation's largest nonprofit resource of expert business mentoring, SCORE has helped millions of entrepreneurs build their businesses for free. Get the connections, education, and guidance you need with SCORE. We're ready to help. Find a mentor today at score.org.
Now back to more entertainment news with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Welcome back, and you're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. So you know how this goes down. If you want to get in on the conversation, 800-920-1580. Of course, we're on social media, KBLA 1580. I'm personally at Stiletto Jill. Holla at me, say hello. Check out JillMunroe.com. Let's see. The YouTube chat, it's always bustling. Shout out to SZA, man. She looked amazing last night, her and Lizzo. I love their friendship. I don't know. I like the vibe of them together. They fit to me. I don't know if that makes sense, but they fit to me. So join us in the YouTube chat. There's always a bunch of conversation going on there, starting with Brown Sugar Babe says, what I was going to say. We'll just drop this and continue on.
Who's Brown Sugar Babe?
Mimi.
Oh, she got a new name?
She does.
Oh, okay.
She said that 4 hours and almost 45 minutes of show is way too much culture. I feel that. I appreciate that. And I felt the same way. I had to tap out at a certain point. So, you know.
This wasn't the first time, Jill.
It definitely was. No, I think I don't remember an almost 5 hour show. I don't even remember a 4 hour show. I remember maybe 3.5, a little strong.
Not every year, but there have been moments where they've pushed the time for sure. Not counting the pre-show on the red carpet. Now.
I understand. I don't know. It was just lengthy.
I did fall asleep.
It was lengthy. Oh, and by the way, right? I am not coming back empty-handed. Just want to let you guys know. And this isn't for now, but I'm dropping this on you now just to get you in the mix, right? This weekend in LA at the Hollywood Bowl, the Blue Note Jazz Festival is taking place, and it is a nonstop celebration. It's going to be a party with some of the best in jazz and more. It features acts such as the Isley Brothers, De La Soul, D-Smoke, Dee Dee Bridgewater, Bill Charlotte, Kenyon Harold, and more. It's hosted by Arsenio Hall. And guess what? I'm going to be giving away a pair of tickets. Not yet. When I tell you to call, I have a pair of tickets. You know, as a welcome back. I missed you guys. And it's Father's Day weekend. So, you know, shout out to all the dads out there. We're going to hook you guys up. All right, let's get into the BET Awards. So, Kendrick Lamar, obviously the moment. He won 5 out of 10 nominations, right? Album of the Year, Video of the Year for Not Like Us, Best Male Hip Hop Artist, Best Collaboration for Luther with SZA, Video Director of the Year for Dave Free. Kendrick said it best. BET always makes sure they represent the culture, right? We saw Kevin Hart go up there because Kendrick was late. I don't know where in the tour he and SZA were because remember, SZA won an award earlier in the night and she did not go on stage to accept the award. So I'm thinking that, you know, she was a little delayed in getting there, so forth. So, but Kendrick got on stage at the end of the night with all of his trophies. Kevin Hart handling it over. What did you guys think of Kevin Hart and his Usher performance with the cherries, with Tichina Arnold and Tisha Campbell and Kerry Washington? I will say this. Tisha Campbell does not get enough credit for the comedic actress that she is. You know, you think about the gems that she's been a part of, House Party, Martin, and then to do it again with Damon Wayans and My Wife and Kids, and just all the other little things that she's done. She is so funny. When she and Tashina were hosting the Lady of Soul Awards for Soul Train, hilarious. Maybe it was just the Soul Train Awards. I don't know, but it was one of the two recently, and they were funny. I love them. Like, those are two ladies, she and Tashina, as best friends and actresses, need more flowers, need more accolades.
You know what? They need a show.
Together, right?
A sitcom.
For sure.
I think that would be dope.
100%. I wonder if they're going to pop up on the Varnell Hill show. We might see that. You know, Tashina, though, is busy. She's about to do season 8 of The Neighborhood, but it is the final season. Tashina keeps a job. Everybody hates Chris. Like, baby's been working steadily since the 80s, so shout out to her. We appreciate that. So also, we know Doechii took home the crown for Best Female Hip Hop Artist, and she definitely shook the room when she addressed the political unrest that was happening in LA. You have to realize this was at the Peacock Theater, which is in LA Live. I'm not sure if it's even called LA Live. You know, things change their names so frequently here in LA based on naming rights. But that's in downtown LA. And there very much were protests in that area on the freeway, a lot happening down there. And for most, maybe on the carpet, but on stage, it wasn't something that was addressed too often. But Doechii did, right? And she slammed Trump. She said, what kind of government sends the military when we protest, right? Very much, you know, speaking out. So here's some tea, right? BET's parent company is Paramount, right? And it is currently, now we know BET is technically for sale. They are spinning it off from Paramount. However, it's still owned from Paramount. Paramount is currently locked in a legal battle with Donald Trump, who is suing them over a 60 Minutes interview with Kamala Harris, right? Paramount is also trying to get a merger with Skydance approved, right? Because we know mergers rule the day, especially in media. All of these things are happening, right? And Trump is leaning on them hard. And we know to a degree their kind of fate as far as if this merger gets approved lies with this administration, okay? So Doechii's speech, bold, but probably not something that, though they would never say it, and I'm not saying that they feel this way. This is just me looking at the chessboard and where the pieces are right now. I can't imagine that, you know, their parent company, maybe not BET, because again, they're up for sale as well, separately from this Skydance merger, was too happy with yet another Trump disparaging remark on, you know, their collective content output. So we'll have to see if that comes up. That's just a small note. Also, lifetime honors went to Mariah Carey, Snoop Dogg, Kirk Franklin, and Jamie Foxx. Let us just say that Jamie Foxx and those tears, how he was moved, how he was speaking, I'm so glad he's here to receive his flowers. We talk about Jamie, but he's so talented just as an overall entertainer. He's planning on stepping out again and hitting comedy stages this summer, kind of a variety style like we saw with The Special, but, you know, not just about, as he said during his speech, about what he's been through, but he almost lost his life. So he is appreciating life more and more in these moments. And, you know, he mentioned how there was there's always a memorandum. Okay, I can't talk right now.
Memorandum?
There you go. Thank you. Thank you, Andy, because my mouth's not working. And he thought about the fact that he could definitely have been a part of this in it. And so that's a very surreal moment. And there were so many that we saw that we lost up until just Monday, and Sunday. Yesterday, losing Sly Stone. Sunday, losing Atlantic Star. Oh, I just blanked on the gentleman's name. But the lead singer for Atlantic Star. We got to appreciate these moments, especially in the current ecosystem that we find ourselves in, right? So also for acting, Cynthia Erivo won for Wicked. Denzel won for Gladiator 2. Blue Ivy won for Youngest Star. Now, I know they probably hoped initially when this was coming up, you know, maybe we could get a Carter appearance, but Blue Ivy was on stage in London, baby, doing the things, you know. She's actively on tour, so shout out to her for taking that. You know, baby Beyonce is up here stacking up hardware after hardware. Andy?
What was up with Mariah Carey's performance?
Mariah Carey, as far as stage shows, she's never been a dancer.
Horrible.
She mostly just. You didn't even like Anderson .Paak back there on the drums. You didn't feel any.
You know what? Okay,
and
so that was
Rakim stepping out.
That was probably the best part of the performance.
Although I feel like younger millennials and definitely Gen Z have no idea who that man was and why that moment was significant. I really do. I don't even think that they understand what that was about.
Love the sample, but I was just disappointed in Mariah Carey. I'm not gonna lie, she looked like a robot. She looked hella stiff.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
But she looked beautiful though. She looked snatched. She was giving a little bit of honey, Mariah.
For sure. But I was just like, and quite frankly, I fell asleep probably halfway through it. So I was disappointed by a lot of the performances.
Really?
In the beginning.
Okay,
let's start off with the beginning of the show. From what I remember, Ashanti's
horrible. But the mic was on. I appreciated that. She was really singing when a lot of the performances are pre-recorded.
Okay, so if we're talking about really singing, shout out to Keisha Cole.
Facts.
I feel like when she came on, if we're talking about those first performances, they were all whack until Keisha came on.
Keisha came and did her thing. Did you like Glorilla's performance?
I rocked with Glorilla. It's hip hop.
I loved what Glorilla did. I love how she featured Keisha. I love the 1920s gangster theme.
Absolutely.
I really rock with Glow. I thought it was interesting. I know they wanted to include. Let me not say I know. I believe that they wanted to include Doechii and Glorilla, right? So they got creative and gave Glorilla the Gospel Award of the Year.
Did they?
Yes, because she has a song featuring Kirk Franklin. So it kind of satisfied two needs because we were also honoring Kirk Franklin, right? So I feel like that was a good mix. That was a good solution for, what could have been a little, tricky.
Yeah, I feel you.
So, go ahead. Who else?
Maya.
You didn't like Maya?
No, I actually did like Maya.
Okay.
She was dancing. I didn't realize she gained that much. I mean, not that it was a problem, but I was like, hold on.
Maya looks good.
I didn't say anything negative. I was just like, whoa, she did come what? Anyways, but shout out Leon Thomas too.
Leon Thomas is
thoroughly surprised by this guy. Like,
really?
You talk about singing? I heard him.
And he's written so many hits.
I didn't know that.
I should have been prepared.
And he was really playing that guitar?
Yes.
Shout out to Leon Thomas. You know what? I think as the show progressed, and I need to rewatch it because I fell asleep, after a while. But I felt like the performances did gradually get better. Oh, shout out to Bow Wow and B2K too.
Man, the 106 in Park segment was everything. I thought Bow was a little too hyped to try and make an impact with his performance. I needed him to dial it back just a tad. But I always say, Mr. 106 in Park, he absolutely was.
We was waiting for Sierra, but for hip hop.
Sierra said that she will never perform, and I really would love to see them perform Like You together. She will never perform that with Bow Wow because he said something about her and their relationship, I think, of a sexual nature in an interview, and she's a married woman, so I believe she was like, yeah, no.
Understood. Well, considering, hip-hop performances a lot of the times are pretty chill, there's not much like dancing going on. Bow Wow gave you the energy that you would need in the hip-hop performance that I would like to see from a lot of rappers.
So let me give you a couple of Leon Thomas hits that he has worked on. Snooze, SZA. He has worked on some of Ariana Grande's stuff, so that stuff is big. Tattooed Heart and Safety Net, Nasty, couple others. So, he's been out here. He was on Victorious. He came from Nickelodeon. He was on the show with Ariana Grande. He was the black character on the show, part of the band. So, the theme of the show, they were, musically inclined. So, he's been around for a minute, grinding out there, and it's finally clicked in. And, the album is fantastic, right? Right. So, there is that. Brown Sugar Babe says, I missed AJ Calloway. I missed, AJ showed up for some of the pre-stuff. I believe he did some interviews on The Breakfast Club. I'm not sure what happened with that. Roxy also was unable to make it. I kind of wanted to see her. Always happy to see Free. Terrence J is a pro's pro. He just does the biz. 100%. Like, you know, appreciate that time, Aaron.
AJ, he posted on Instagram. He was, I guess, traveling. So he was, you know, in the air while BET was going on. But he wanted to acknowledge all the love that he was receiving or whatnot. So, you know, shout out to AJ.
Yeah, shout out to them. I thought that was really good. 25 years. I thought it was really good that they, you know, brought that back and ran that back. So Angel Reese won Sportswoman of the Year, though boxer Clarissa Shields, you know, she was talking mess. So she basically said that she thought that the awards were about accolades. So she didn't understand why Angel, who hasn't won anything, she said, ain't nobody saying, she said, still don't know how I didn't win the Sportswoman of the Year at the BET Awards, but congrats to Angel Reese and all the other nominees. I just thought accolades mattered. Then she said, ain't nobody saying Angel Reese don't have accolades or she's not good. I'm saying I thought the person with the most accolades and accomplishments would win the award. I'm team Angel Reese. I mean, talk your trash, girl, I guess, you know. Sounds like bitter grapes. Just say congratulations and go, but do you, baby.
No disrespect to Clarissa Shields, but wasn't nobody really talking about her until the whole Papoose situation.
Thing, right.
And then people know you because of that, you know what I'm saying, as opposed to
not even the movie with Ryan Destiny that came out at Christmas time? No.
I don't even know that movie.
All right, listen. When we come forward, we're going to get more into the BET Awards, more of some new shows heading your way, and casting news. Now, listen, I told you about this weekend at the Hollywood Bowl for the Blue Note Jazz Festival. I gave you a little highlight of who's performing. You want those tickets? 800-920-1580. When we come forward, more trending topics, more headlines, more. All of that on the other side. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Q said that you won't be slept on. You the to bet on. Topic giving us the million and the homie lived it. Hoping that we see some millions. God bless our hearts.
You're in the know with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. Tensions are rising in Los Angeles after pro-immigration protests turned violent. Black Mayor Karen Bass called the Trump administration's response over the top.
Painting this like this is, 1992 all over again when it was citywide civil unrest has nothing to do with the situation that you're looking at now.
Trump deployed 2,000 National Guard troops and sent in Marines, prompting a lawsuit from Governor Gavin Newsom. Community leaders in Memphis, Tennessee are fighting Elon Musk's AI project over pollution concerns. Rep. Justin Pearson and the NAACP want officials to deny the air permit, saying it threatens low-income communities. Black Mayor Paul Young backs the project, but critics call it harmful. And a former girlfriend of Sean Diddy Combs, known as Jane, testified in his New York sex crimes trial, detailing nights where she says he made her have sex with other men while he watched. Combs has pleaded not guilty. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
In Alhambra, the 10 westbound at Garfield Avenue, it's a crash blocking the 3 right lanes with traffic stopped from Delmar Avenue. East LA, that trouble on the 5 freeway southbound past Dittman. It's a broken down car in the middle lanes. Got traffic stopped from Calzona Street. Sherman Oaks with a broken down vehicle. Actually, it's a crash on the 405 northbound before the 101. It's over on the right shoulder, but still slowing things from Sunset Boulevard.
For victims of drunk and drug driving, our grief is unique. But you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call our 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
I'm a bad man.
Get well wishes are circulating for University of Colorado football coach Deion Sanders. Sanders is spending time at his home in Texas to deal with an unspecified health issue. The 57-year-old Sanders is entering his third season at Colorado. The Celebration Bowl, the game that decides the Black College Football National Champion, will be played Saturday, December 13th in Atlanta at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, home of the NFL Atlanta Falcons. The game features the SWAC Conference champion against the champ from the MEAC Conference. The game will be televised live on ABC, 9 a.m. kickoff LA time. The Rams and Chargers are going through mandatory minicamps this week. First preseason game for the Rams is August 9th against Dallas at SoFi Stadium. The Chargers kick off the NFL preseason against Detroit in the Hall of Fame game on July 31st in Canton, Ohio. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Yeah, y'all, come on. Here come the drums.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we fight the power every day.
Yeah, gotta give us what we want. Gotta give us what we need. Hey.
I listen to KBLA and I love the commercials. I know what the commercials mean. I also, if I'm looking and trying to figure something out, I need something to talk to me that might hit me. And it happens on TV because, you know, every time they show a sporting event, they got the pharmaceutical companies back to back telling people how to fix the sickness on the same stuff that they sell them. So we get it.
Yep, we get it too, Chuck D. And that's why at KBLA Talk 1580, we don't black down.
Drop it. Our freedom of speech is freedom of death. We got to fight the powers that be. Fight the power. Fight the power. Fight the power.
Attorney advertising. Prior results do not guarantee future outcomes.
Founded in Los Angeles in 1986, litigation powerhouse Quinn Emanuel has deep roots in the Los Angeles community. Since 2007, we have litigated some of the largest fires on the West Coast. We are proud to be the only AmLaw 100 firm in the country to represent wildfire victims, giving affected individuals, families, and businesses the same focus and individualized attention we devote to our Fortune 500 clients. BTI Consulting has repeatedly recognized Quinn Emanuel as among the 4 law firms in-house counsel least like to oppose in any litigation, and we are often deemed the most feared. And after securing over $80 billion for our clients in various matters firm-wide, we understand why. If you have been affected by the recent wildfires in Altadena and the Palisades and would like to discuss your situation further, please contact wildfire support at QuinnEmanuel.com or call us at 213-443-3050. Quinn Emanuel is proud to sponsor Conversation Live Altadena Rising with James Farr on KBLA Talk 1580.
Attorney advertising. Prior results do not guarantee future outcomes.
May 6th was World Asthma Day, and it's a critical time to raise awareness about your asthma. Did you know that Black Americans are approximately 5 times more likely than white Americans to visit the emergency department due to their asthma? Managing your asthma is possible with regular checkups, avoiding known triggers, using prescribed medications correctly, and creating an asthma action plan with your healthcare professional. An action plan is a personalized plan you create with your doctor that shows you what to do and what medications to take to help control your asthma when you're having a hard time breathing or having an asthma attack. Stay aware, have a plan because your health matters. For more tips and resources on managing your asthma, visit luma-edu.com. luma-edu.com. This message is brought to you by Amgen and AstraZeneca.
Lena Bloom for the Bail Project. Imagine you're stuck in a jail cell and you can't afford bail and someone offers you a way out. Just plead guilty and you can go home and kiss your kids goodnight. What do? What thousands have. You plead guilty whether you are or not. Cash bail makes poverty a crime. That's why the Bail Project helps those who can't afford it while fighting to end cash bail. Because freedom should be free.
Brought to you by the Ad Council.
You're listening to Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
When you see you know it's on me. When you see you know it's on me. When you see you know that's on me. Never had a moment where I ever questioned you. You already know that. I ain't never stressed with you. Love me and you own that. That's why I'm so impressed with you, blessed with you. If you haven't noticed, I am at my best with you, yeah. Yeah, they know you're my heart. Yeah, they know I'm about you. I hate when we're apart, 'cause I love showed me around you, embraced all my flaws when you didn't have to stay holding me down, even when I'm not around. When you see him notice on me, when you see him notice on me, when you see him know that's on me right there.
Welcome back in. You locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. Listen, Keisha Cole, red and blonde haired Keisha Cole, first single, little Gap, Keisha Cole. I'm just saying, you know, first video, first single. I changed my mind. Fire in the hood in Oakland. Come on. Keisha was incredible. With Kanye. Shout out to that.
I'm mad that you mentioned her Gap though. That's so funny. It's so funny.
Because I think Keisha Cole is beautiful, right?
Yeah.
I think from the moment she stepped on the scene, you know, she had her Oakland kind of hood aesthetic,
100%.
But it was fire. It was authentic. It was passion. Like, you know, and shout out to her show on BET. I do have credits on that show.
Oh, do you?
I worked at BET then, so
That's
I
right.
do. Yep.
That show was fire. Speaking of Keisha Cole.
Yes.
I mentioned this too. I liked her outfit. It gave me Mary J. Blige vibes.
I mean, Keisha and Mary in some ways are comparable.
100%.
She is a certain generation's. I don't want to say, no, I mean, because Gen X is Mary. Millennials got Keisha.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, they got them both. But I'm just saying, you know, Keisha came out in early 2000s.
Yep.
Like, it was a vibe. It was different. Like, and she's still here, still standing strong, you know, singing her heart out.
Trending for the wrong reasons, too.
You know, it happens sometimes.
Well, for the fellas, you know, it might be a good thing. But.
I mean, it happens sometimes. These things happen. All right. So shout out to Eric from Carson for winning those Blue Note Jazz Festival tickets this weekend. And Eric's on the line. He wants to chime in on the BET Award. So, Eric, what's up? Congratulations, first up. And what's on your mind about the awards?
What's up, Jill? Thanks for those tickets.
Amazing. I'm glad. I hope you have a good time.
I got to say this real quick, though. Ladies, y'all need to step up.
Got to get quicker, right?
Hey, shout out to Eric. Shout out to Morris. You know what I'm saying? When Jill be like, oh, we got tickets to give away. Here they go calling. Ladies, y'all got to step y'all game up.
Get in there, ladies. I mean, listen, but what I do assure you, right? I'm going to have some more stuff for you guys, right? I'm going to keep you lit like that because that's what we're doing here. All right, Eric, what are your thoughts on the BET Awards?
So I'll make this specific and quick. I was blessed to be able to be at the BET Awards. And so I want to just go through the three best. So the best intro was Stevie Wonder. That was just awesome. Introducing Jamie Foxx.
Yeah, with the jokes. Stevie had jokes.
They were great.
And so did Jamie.
Jamie was the best speech. It brought tears to my eyes, literally, because it was just, he made me feel like it was something he really meant. And then the best performance, I got to, disagree with Andy Ashanti. I'm not a singer. I sing, but I'm not a performer. But to be able to sing and dance and pull that off is not something that should be discounted. So the fact that she was singing live and dancing impresses me, and I love her anyway.
All right, pause.
But
Eric,
the biggest.
Hold on,
yes,
Eric.
Sir.
Hold on. So I'm glad that you acknowledge that aspect when it comes to performances, especially when it comes to R&B artists, right? And that's why for me, you call what Ashanti was doing dancing?
It was choreography.
It was choreography, but even in that little tiny choreography, I'm sorry, she sounded very breathy.
I mean, she did just have a baby not too long ago.
Okay. Okay. All right. Fair enough. But
and the mic was on. Like I said, I appreciate that she was not using a track. We don't see a lot of that these days.
All right, maybe let me not be too hard on the sister, you know what I'm saying? But I'm saying when you have performances like Leon Thomas, you can hear him, the clarity. And he was moving. He was playing that guitar. And I know other R&B artists who can sing and dance at the same time and sound clear. That's all I'm saying.
I'm an Ashanti fan. I just have to say that, you know, the fact that Maya hasn't performed in years, she pulled it off. But
Maya performs all the time. What are you saying?
Oh, does she?
Yes.
I thought she. Okay, but then she was still awesome. But the person who got all of my respect is Doechii. I am not a fan. I really barely knew who she was, to be honest with you. But when she got up there and gave her acceptance speech, and when she spoke intelligently and had the courage to do what she did, I'm a fan of hers now. So I hope she's listening. So that's all I have to say.
And I want to say this too, with all that chocolate.
Right. Doechii's fire. Thanks for calling in, Eric. Congratulations. We appreciate you. All right, listen, we haven't talked about Teyana Taylor's performance. So I have to say, I am a fan of Afrofuturism, right? From TLC and the No Scrubs video, Grace Jones back in the day. We've seen some other instances of it lately. We've seen Beyonce during the Renaissance tour utilize, her version of it. So I'm a fan of that. I saw some people saying they didn't understand why her stuff is so dark lately. But maybe that's, this album, this new music is reflective of what she went through in her divorce. It's kind of, her feelings post that and things of that nature. So maybe that's why that's the vibes that is giving. One thing I will say is Teyana is incredibly creative, and I love to watch her work because she really does put thought into a lot, into her performances, into the things that she puts together creatively for other artists. Her visuals are always A1. So shout out to that. So much was happening. I did I mention Jalen Hurts won the Sportsman of the Year award? So big ups to him for that. Andy?
Speaking of sports, how do you feel about the whole 106 in Park spinoff, 106 in Sports?
With Cam Newton and I'm unfamiliar with the young lady's name. I think I've talked about it several times. Live sports is the moment right now as far as entertainment and media, and everybody's trying to get into on the sports content. The difference is it's not as easy to slide into that as it might be for entertainment, music, or things of that nature, because you got to know a little something about the game. Maybe not. You can go on vibes, but I think people want to hear, along with the, trash talk, the barbershop, or however you want to term it, the podcast bros at this point, they do want to hear something of substance to go along with all the, trash talk back and forth.
I think this will help with any type of face of the league conversations as well, too. Because, when they made the announcement, Cam Newton specified, everything outside of sports. I think this will be obviously, beneficial to all sports, promotion-wise and whatnot. But when people are talking about who's the face of such and such, those athletes that may appear on this show, on that show, is probably going to be considered the face of, their respective league.
Maybe. We'll see. It's going to be interesting. I'm wondering, are they going to actually put it programming on BET? Is it just going to be online? Because I think at this point, the majority of BET's new content goes to BET Plus, the streamer. I was looking at the rundown, and this might have just been because the awards were on, but every show is Tyler Perry's show, one of his shows, and a movie throughout the day. Shout out to Tyler Perry.
Is that a problem?
I'm not saying it's a problem. It's just what it is. I was just like, oh, it really is the Tyler Perry network, and again,
TPN,
Straw is doing well on Netflix right now. Taraji once again said that Tyler sets her up. Sherry Shepherd talked about how she's never had a trailer this big, considerations for her and things of that nature, paid this much for it not. Because of Tyler Perry. I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. So Tyler is changing lives with his films, no matter how you feel about the content. So we will leave it there. When we come forward, we'll get into more of these trending topics and headlines. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
You're riding with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
The doctor's office that accidentally mixed up your files has your social security number. The power company that mistakenly cut your service has your payment info. And the hotel that lost your reservation has your passport number. You need LifeLock because your personal info is in endless places that can expose you to identity thieves. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZzzQuil.
ZzzQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZzzQuil nights. Explore our products at ZzzQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Catch Prep is now enrolling for summer credit recovery in fall 2025. As South Los Angeles' top-performing high school in English, math, and college access, Catch Prep is welcoming all 9th through 12th graders to enroll now. Catch Prep offers a small, supportive, and safe learning environment to help all students succeed, so that all students feel valued, respected, and motivated to reach their full potential. For the past 20 years, Catch Prep has helped more students of color gain admission to top-tier universities, with our graduating seniors earning a total of $3 million in scholarships, more than any other school in Los Angeles. We are dedicated to helping all students turn your college dreams into reality. Catch Prep is now enrolling. Visit us online at catchhighschool.com or call 323-293-3917. Spaces limited. Please enroll now for summer credit recovery and fall 2025. Call 323-293-3917 or enroll today at catchhighschool.com.
Hi, I'm LA City Councilman Curran Price, inviting you to join us on Saturday, June the 14th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. as we cut the ribbon on the brand new Enel Woods Park at 8703 South McKinley Avenue. Thanks to a generous donation from Heal the Bay, the park features smart irrigation, stormwater capture systems, and space for local wildlife to thrive. And we've built a walking trail, picnic areas, native landscaping, and quiet spaces for families to gather, relax, and connect. This is part of a much larger effort to expand green spaces across South LA with 3 new parks in the works, a first-of-its-kind community center coming soon, and plans to connect it all through the South LA Greenway. So mark your calendar for Saturday, June 14th, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., and come celebrate a greener, stronger South LA at Enel Woods Park. I'm also pleased to sponsor the Climate Justice plus Black Health Symposium, moderated by Tavis Smiley, live on C-SPAN, Wednesday, June the 18th, from 4 to 7 p.m. at the Nate Holden Performing Arts Center. Just a reminder to sign up right away at the KBLA1580.com website to join me, Mayor Karen Bass, Congresswoman Sidney Kamlager Dove, Tennessee State Representative Justin Pearson, Dr. Cornel West, former Congressman Jesse Jackson Jr., the Sierra Club's Ben Jealous, and other black influencers in the climate and health fields, as we continue to amplify the connection between climate and poor health outcomes for our people. Thank you for listening. I'm Councilman Curran Price.
Pasadena City College is proud to support Conversation Live Altadena Rising with James Farr. For over 100 years, PCC has been a pillar of the community, and we're here for you as we work together to recover from the Eaton fire and rebuild Altadena's future. At PCC, we offer diverse career education programs that prepare you for in-demand jobs, fueling both today's recovery and tomorrow's growth. Whether you're starting a new career or advancing your skills, PCC gives you tools to build your future and your community. Pasadena City College, here for the Dena, here for you. Learn more at PCCfordena.com.
You're listening to Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Welcome back in. You are locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. All right, a couple of more things to wrap up this BET Awards talk. I want you guys to tell me what you thought of Kevin Hart as a host. I thought he was funny. I thought he did his thing. His little rap at Rap City, Chocolate Dropper, you know, Real Husbands of Hollywood. That was one of my faves when that initially dropped. I thought that show was genius.
He did a great job.
Yeah.
I enjoyed him.
So, shout out to Kevin Hart. Listen.
Shout out to Ludacris, too, in that Rap City thing.
Listen, shout out to Ludacris always. Ludacris is a heck of a performer. Lyrics, bars, crispy.
Underrated still.
Underrated, yeah. And puts on a show. And it's always pristine. You hear him, breath control, immaculate. You know I'm big on that.
And see what you just described, what you look for in a rapper? That's all I'm looking for in an R&B artist when they perform.
I feel that. I'm not mad at that. I completely understand and respect that, right?
And on the topic of speeches, I did catch Busta Rhymes' speech from Mariah Carey.
Yeah.
I thought that was profound, too.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the speech.
Yep. So all in all, I think it was an excellent night. Production values, always stellar. Jesse Collins Entertainment does it again.
If there's anything that could have been improved, in your opinion, what do you think could have been improved?
4 hours and 45 minutes is a long show.
Okay.
It's a long day. It's a long day, and you want us to watch the pre-show and a little bit afterwards. It's a long day. It's like a job. It's like clocking in for work.
For me, I'm going to go ahead and say the promotion leading towards the BET Awards.
You felt it should have been more?
100%. And I think that's also maybe because of the lack of shows like a 106 in Park, where every day, you're probably going to get...
But you can't do that.
I understand.
You need a live... You do need some type of outlet that taps in and keeps you abreast. I believe
100%.
They have some stuff like that on BET.com and on their
website.
Streaming stuff. But I think that they're very heavy into their digital approach right now. I could be wrong.
And I understand that. And that's pretty much where media is going for the most part, right? Who has a magazine nowadays?
Right.
I get that aspect. But I wish that there was more build-up, anticipation. You know what I'm saying? It was just a little bit lackluster in that regard.
I can see that. Shout out to Fahima in the chat. She says, Tyler didn't even have to pay money to own BET after all. Interesting thought. Royale Jenkins said Ludacris is underrated. Forrest Harrison said Luda started in radio too. He did in Atlanta. Chris Bridges. What was he? He was Ludacris then when he was on the radio too, right?
Chris Lover.
Chris Lover. Okay, that's how I was like, wait, Ludacris came later. All right, so yeah, big ups to them. Now, some things that did happen. Kai Cenat, again, continues to dominate, streaming live from the BET Awards, backstage, on the red carpet, all of those things. He and Drewski were giving it up. I don't know if you saw Drewski did a performance where he reenacted Genuine's performance on 106 in Park, where they had the little heart machine to reinvigorate him and start the performance. Drewski's good. He's funny. He's one of the ones I feel can successfully make the jump from online to bigger projects and things that are outside of just that area. And we've seen him do such, but shout out to him. Jamie Foxx surprised Kai Cenat because he knew who he was. There were some others. Shout out to Young Thug and Mariah the Scientist. I don't know why Young Thug was on the carpet looking like Leatherface from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but do you, buddy? Do you? Wale felt slighted because Kai didn't know who he was when he stepped to him, and he dropped that on him. He was like, "You're making me look crazy right now," on Kai's live stream. After the fact, like, he came back around and circled back and said this to him. I'm like, does he not know how this works? Does he not realize that that's live streaming right now? But that's that. That's what it is. All right, some casting news really quickly. Snoop Dogg has found his lead for his biopic. It is none other than Jonathan Davies. He is a star from Outer Banks. That's a popular show on Netflix. And Snoop is producing it himself along with Brian Grazer and Death Row Pictures, right? Craig Brewer, you know him from Hustle and Flow. He is directing the project, so should be interesting. It's going to follow Snoop's early beginnings from Long Beach and the streets to his debut album Doggy Style, which sold over 800,000 copies the first week. We're talking physical copies in 1993. And I'm excited to see what they put together. Also, for you Power fans, it's been announced that a new Power spinoff is in the works. I told y'all, if you listen to me. Starring Michael Rainey Jr., that's Tariq, and Joseph Sikora, who plays Tommy. Now, we know that the final season of Force is scheduled to drop in this fall. I believe that the events that are going to take place in this will lead us to the next series with Tariq and Tommy, and we see what that version of Ghost and Tommy looks like. Also, the writer's room is open for the prequel Origins on Ghost and Tommy. I once again think that we will see the start of that, and we'll see a little Ghost and Tommy in season 5, the final season of Raising Kanan. So a lot to look out for there. Also, Freda Payne. You know who Freda Payne is, right? She's a legend. She's been around for a while. Like legendary 70s songbird, songwriter, right? She's the voice behind Band of Gold. She's going to be back on our screens. This time she's starring alongside her real-life son, Gregory Abbott Jr., and it's a film called A Sudden Family. It's a dramedy about a wrestling coach balancing his dream job and a new family dynamic, and it also features former Temptations frontman Louis Price, not the OG, but, you know, Rufus Doechii, who starred in Pearl Harbor, and Sammy Ray from Ruthless. So, you know, make sure that when that drops, you guys go check that out. And lastly, you know what's coming up. Our 4th anniversary is next week. And the seating for all 4 of our events is getting tight. So if you have not, go to KBLA.com and register for the events. If you are planning to join us for the Juneteenth holiday barbecue, make sure to bring a food card or a restaurant card of any amount. We are supporting the Altadena residents that are still displaced. You know, we have not forgotten about them. And I want to also shout out to LA because LA stood on business this weekend. You know, protests, award shows, holding it down. We have been through a lot over this past few years, you know, with the fires back in January. We've gone through strikes here in the entertainment industry, which has affected, you know, in sort of a halo effect. So shout out to LA. We always stand on business. We always support one another. And, you know, we make sure to represent that here at KBLA. So go register for the events and come on out and holla at us. There's 4. So I'm sure you can make one. We'd love to see you. All right, guys. Thank you so much, as always, for tapping in. I appreciate you. You know, this is your front row seat to the culture. Make sure you're back here tomorrow, 6 p.m., so we can dive more into these trending topics and headlines. And let me tell you, because I went to the ASCAP Honors Awards on Sunday, we got a rap conversation coming up this week for you from one of the young LA rappers. So we're going to play his words and get into that topic. So thank you guys once again. Coming up next is Zoe Williams, the voice of reason. You know he's going to hit you in the head with nothing but the truth. All of that and more. I'll check you guys out tomorrow.
Everybody got their own thing coming, see chasing worldwide through the hard times, worrying faces. Shed tears as we bury, sticking close to heart. What was a friend that was ghost in the dark? Cold part about it, getting got smoked by a fiend, trying to floss on him, blind to a broken man's dream. A hard lesson, court cases keep him guessing. Plea bargain ain't an option now, so I'm stressing. Cost me more to be free than a life in the pen, making money off of cuss words, writing again. Learn how to think ahead, so I fight with my pen. Late night down sunset, like in the scene. What's the worst